Hey, Whippersnappers, this is Tortimer the Great. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Pokemon Showdown, Little Cup Battles. Today we are continuing on playing around in the Gen 7 meta, just kind of in the random ladder battles, and changed up the team a bit here. Watched a couple of battles from you guys. I think Mac was the one doing some battles, or somebody was doing some battles, and a Pumpkaboo was kicking butt, and so I figured, why not? I think we had a battle last episode that we went up against a tough Pumpkaboo as well, so I was like, you know what, that's something we should give a shot to. And then you guys, I was kind of lamenting in the Discord that there's not really all that many Gen 7 Pokemon that are even worth giving a shot. That there's really not much that another Pokemon couldn't do better, and you guys made pretty decent cases for Salazzle and Salandit and Mudbray. So, you know what? Fine, we're gonna give it a shot. We've got Pele and Lulu on the team here. Pele switches into a Psychic from the Flabebe. Flabebe uses that Protect, and Pele throws up the Sludge Bomb. The Flabebe is going to switch out there, bringing in Axew. Axew's going to take a Sludge Bomb, which does pretty good damage, but Pele's going to go down to Life Orb damage. Bunyan then switches in, and he's going to throw up the Ice Punch, finishing off the Axew. He goes on down. Flabebe then switches back in, forcing Bunyan out, bringing in Gete Okosomin, and that's going to take a Moonblast, and then Flabebe is going to protect itself from the Synthesis. But since we're synthesizing, it doesn't really matter. We heal up anyway. Dory goes ahead and switches in. Dory's pretty much the most specially defensive Pokemon I've got on the team, I guess. So she's going to be able to take the moves being thrown out by the Flabebe there. Dory's going to rest. I've got a sleep-talking Chinchou on Dory this time. So Dory rests, and then we're going to go ahead and sleep-talk... What do we get? What do we get? Oh, but we get rest. So we get some bad RNG on that one at this point. Chinchou, Dory switches out. Lulu comes in for the Volt switch there. Voltorb doesn't carry much but electric moves, although it does have the critical, super effective hidden power. But we're going to survive long enough to get the Earthquake off at least, and down goes the Voltorb. Lulu switches out, bringing in Gokosomin, and that is going to start Dragon Dancing as we take an Earthquake there, which we take pretty well. We throw up the Giga Drain, which is going to pretty much wipe out the Barbroach except for its Sash. Is it sashed? Yes, it is sashed, and so that helps us heal up enough to be able to survive another move to get going for the next turn. Then we throw up the Giga Drain. The Flabebe doesn't really care much about that, though, and it's going to land a hard Moonblast on us, and then they forfeit. Yeah, so they just decide they don't want to bother playing out the last Pokemon, which is kind of annoying, but hey, whatever. So they forfeit the last turn, but we still had 5 Pokemon left, so I don't even think Boots had done anything in this battle yet. But yeah, so it worked out pretty well. Let's check out how the next battle went, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, battle number 2, going up against another decently well-made team. So Boots comes in and is going to pretty much do some good damage to the Abra there, and then our Pumpkaboo is going to come in for the Psychic. Going to throw up that Shadow Sneak, finishing off the Abra there, so that works out pretty nicely. Carvana is then going to come in, throw up the Protect, and we're going to go ahead and Synthesize, expecting that, so we get a free heal. That works out pretty nicely for us. The Crunch is going to land and do hard damage, but we're going to get the Giga Drain off and wipe out the Carvana in one hit. So that works pretty good. Super Pumpkaboo is pretty nice, and that forces a forfeit. So getting a couple forfeits here, one a little earlier than the others, but yeah, losing Abra and Carvana, they decided they couldn't make that up. So okay, that's the second battle with this team in its most current iteration. Let's see what the next one is, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, battle number 3. Boots leads out against Mantike, who's going to protect. I go for the Fake Out there. Mantike switches out, bringing in Litwick, who's going to take a knockoff and go down. Litwick losing its Choice Scarf and going out. At that point, Sandile switches in, and Boots is going to come on out, bringing in Bunyan. Not worth keeping Boots out with the Intimidate up, so Bunyan's going to come in, throw up the Mach Punch, which is resisted by the Trubbish. Trubbish able to take that with no trouble at all. Trubbish starts setting up the Curse, though, which is potentially going to be trouble for us. We get the Giga Drain going there, but then Bunyan's going to come out. He clearly can't do a whole lot there. Trubbish continuing to set up the Curse. Lulu comes out and is going to throw up the Earthquake, but Mantike switching in, expecting that, which at least helps us from that Trubbish setting up too much. Mantike takes a Rock Slide, but does less than half, so Lulu's going to come out, the Water Absorb, helping us with the Scald coming from the Mantike, healing Dory up a little bit. The attack gets lowered, but Sandile switches in. Dory's going to come out because I don't expect we're fast enough to outspeed a Sandile. Sandile throws up that Earthquake. Get it, Oko Somin takes that pretty well. Takes a Crunch as well, and then the Giga Drain is going to help heal us up a little bit there, but probably not enough to withstand another Crunch. So I'm a little surprised that Sandile come out at that point. The Blitzel comes in with the Quick Attack, probably a misclick there. The Flame Charge is going to land, give a little bit of health or speed up, but not going to really do a whole lot health-wise to our Pumpkaboo. Then they're going to throw up the Pursuit, which does okay damage, and then we've got the Sap Sipper there, which is a little bit unfortunate. So at that point, we pull out our Pumpkaboo. They don't predict the Pursuit there, and then Lulu's going to come in, take a Flame Charge very, very well. And then in face of the Earthquake, they're going to bring Mantike back in. I predict that switch, so I throw up the Rock Slide, but we don't hit anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The Tailwind gets set up. Mantike is going to survive that, and going to throw up the Toxic. So definitely not a resting Mantike there. Mantike's going to go down. Lulu is then going to take a knockoff from the Tentacool. Lulu's defenses raise, and we lose the Eevee Light there as we throw up the Earthquake on the Tentacool, taking it out. And Lulu at this point has super-effective damage on everybody, so they take the Me First, which hits Lulu. Lulu's defenses go up, and then we throw up the Earthquake there. At this point, do we get the rest off on Lulu? Yeah, they go for the rest. Lulu survives it. Stamina goes up, and then we do get the rest off. So we've got a resting, sleep-talking Mudbray here as well. So Lulu heals back up, and at that point they forfeit, which is probably fair. A lot of forfeits with this team, but yeah, in the face of a 3 times effective Mudbray, when you've got an electric Pokemon and a poison Pokemon, probably not a whole lot you can do there. So fair enough, I suppose. But we've got one more battle that we pulled today's, or that we did. So these first 4 battles with the team, just kind of seeing how things are going. Seems to be going okay so far. Let's check out the last one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, last battle of the day sees Boots up against a Dwebble. We get the knockoff going, which is going to lower the defense and raise the speed, and loses its Eevee Light there. Boots is then going to take a hard knockoff herself, and then we throw up the Fury Swipes, which unfortunately, even without the Eevee Light, is not going to really do a whole lot for us there. The Weak Armor continuing to boost the speed. The defense does keep going down, though, so I can't remember if we ended up killing this thing or not. I don't think we did. I think that ends there, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so we end just shy of killing the thing. And with its new incredible speed boost, Boots is going to go down. I think at that point, Bunyan comes in with its Mach Punch, going to finish off the Dwebble. So Dwebble goes out before it can do any more damage. Mudbray then switching in as Geta Okosoming comes in. And find that Lumberry. It throws up the Heavy Slam, which does hard damage, and then Mudbray is going to come out as we throw up the Giga Drain, doing good damage to the Staryu there, so that works out pretty nicely. Staryu then switching out in the face of that, bringing in Rufflet. Giga Drain, not going to do a ton to the Rufflet, but gets us a little bit of HP back at least. Lulu then switches in, expecting a physical move, which we do get. Does pretty good damage to us, though. Rufflet then switching out as we throw up the Rock Slide, which is going to help them get a little bit of a boost on their Mudbray, too. Lulu throws up the Earthquake, which is going to boost the defenses of the fellow Mudbray, and then it's going to set itself up behind a substitute there. Lulu's going to go ahead and sleep. They get the Earthquakes going, which is going to continue to boost our defenses. I believe I pull Lulu out here at some point. No, Lulu goes down. They get a crit. They get a crit and finish Lulu off there. At which point, it's time for Pumpkaboo to come back in. We get that Giga Drain going, which is going to easily break the substitute. Mudbray is then going to throw up the Heavy Slam and switch on out, bringing Rufflet in. Again, a little bit of damage, nothing too exciting. We didn't get any rocks up or anything like that. I don't think I've got a rock. I don't have a rock setter on this team. But Mudbray then switches into the Scald, which is going to take it out. So bad luck there, expecting the Volt Switch up against the Rufflet. But we predicted that, and then going to go ahead and get Dory out of there. Dory switches out, bringing in Pele. Pele's going to go up against the Pumpkaboo, but that Shadow Ball is going to do hard damage, lowering our special defense as Pumpkaboo switches out. Throw up the Fire Blast, but it's going to miss, and the Salandit probably wouldn't have taken a lot of damage from it anyway. And then in a speed tie, the shiny Salandit across from us is going to win and take down Pele. Pumpkaboo uses that Frisk. We throw up the Scald there, which is going to land on the Pumpkaboo. We get the burn at least, but nothing terribly exciting going on there. We Volt Switch on out into Bunyan. Bunyan's got Ice Punch, so my guess is that that's what we're planning to do here. Pumpkaboo is going to... No, we get... Oh, right, we've got knockoff on Bunyan as well, so that works out pretty nicely. Pumpkaboo gets the synthesis going there, and then we throw up the Ice Punch, which will then finish off the Pumpkaboo. So, Bunyan doing good work there. Rufflet then switching in. We bring Dory in to take the hit. That Aerial Ace lands and does pretty good damage. Staryu then switches in, and we throw up the Rest, which is going to heal Dory back up. At this point, I don't know if they know if we have Thunder or if we have Volt Absorb or Water Absorb yet. I know we revealed that in a previous battle, but I don't think it's come into play in this one. They do take the risk and they throw up Thunderbolt. I guess if we were full health anyway, so they don't really lose anything necessarily. But it doesn't do a whole lot of damage anyhow, so I'm not super worried about it. At which point, Dory wakes up and we're going to throw up the Volt Switch, which is going to take Staryu down to 37%, bring Geto Okosamin back in, and Staryu is going to identify our Eviolite. At which point Staryu switches out, Salandit switches back in, we get a Giga Drain going, but it does absolutely nothing, which is like 4 times resisted with the Salandit, so not too surprised. The Sludge Bomb going to come in, though, and finish off Bunyan, which is a little bit unfortunate. Dory switching in, and going to take a Sludge Bomb as well. Dory able to withstand it, though, and get the Scald off, which will finish off the Salandit. So that works out pretty nicely, at which point Rufflet going to come in and throw up the Superpower. Unfortunately, Dory does not survive that, and Dory's going to go down before we can either Volt Switch or Rest. Get Okosamin then comes in, and they're going to switch out the Rufflet, bring in the Staryu, and we were going for the Will-O-Wisp there to try and cut the attack, but unfortunately we didn't get that. We did get the burn, however, from the Staryu, so that's a bit unfortunate. We have Synthesis, we don't have Rest. At least I think we have Synthesis. I may have switched Synthesis out for something else because we had Giga Drain for health, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We weren't fast enough, and the Rufflet does end up taking us down. So a very close battle against a well-built team, but we seem to do okay. So yeah, those are the first 4 battles I did once I kind of put this team together, or made the adjustments. I guess really, the only people from the last variation of this team left over are Boots and Dory, I guess. Everybody else, I think, got shifted out. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think of this particular iteration. And, yeah, I'd love your guys' feedback. It seems to be working okay, but there, we could definitely use probably a spinner, which I guess we did lose that when we brought Ryobi, or we took Ryobi, our Drillbur, off in place of Lulu the Mudbray. But wanted to, it's Gen 7, want to use some Gen 7 Pokemon. Maybe it's something where, like, maybe it makes more sense to, instead of having Dory, maybe we should look at a Staryu, which can give us, water and electric moves, as well as giving us a spinner, things like that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Still kind of playing around with these things a bit, so yeah, would love hearing your guys' feedback. Anyway, guys, I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I will see you all back here next time. Alrighty, guys, have a good one.